How's it going, everyone? Today I have a review for you of the new Samsung Galaxy Note 2. With its giant 5.5-inch display and a quad-core processor, let's take a look. If we just take a quick look around the phone, on the left-hand side you can find your volume rockers, on the right-hand side you can find your sleep/wake button, on the top you can find your 3.5mm headphone jack and the microphone, on the bottom you can find your micro USB slot, S Pen and a microphone. On the back you can find your 8-megapixel camera along with a flash and a speaker. And finally on the front you can find the speaker for calls, your huge 5.5-inch Super AMOLED display and the home button located under the display. If we just take a look at the display, you can see the display on this thing is bigger than on the usual smartphone. It is a 5.5-inch Super AMOLED display. It has a resolution of 1280 by 720 and 267 ppi. The colors are amazing on this display, but because this is a large display, it has lower ppi. The phone also has a Gorilla Glass, which will prevent a lot of scratches. If we just take a look at the dimensions of the phone is 151.1mm tall, 80.5mm wide and 9.4mm thick. The phone feels quite big when you get it, however you get used to it really quickly. The phone is really thin and I didn't have any trouble with fitting it into my pocket. The phone ships with Android 4.1.1 Jelly Bean, which is really nice, and there's already an update available to update to 4.1.2, which is pretty nice as well. Just like the S3, the Note 2 is also running the TouchWiz UI skin over the top of Android, which slows the device down a tiny bit, but you get used to it pretty quickly. The phone has a quad-core Cortex A9 1.6 GHz processor and 2GB of RAM, which is really useful when using some more intense apps. To show the phone off, I'm going to play some Temple Run 2. The game has some solid graphics, but again, it's nothing major. As you can see, the phone flies through the game, everything is so smooth and there's no lag at all. The processor is also really useful when you're browsing through some intense websites. The phone is rocking two cameras. The front-facing camera is a 1.9-megapixel camera and the back camera has 8 megapixels. The back camera also has a flash which comes in handy at night. The back camera records video in 1080p at 30 frames per second, which is really nice. Because this phone has that huge 5.5-inch Super AMOLED display, it takes up a lot of power. However, this phone has a 3100 mAh battery, which will get you at least throughout 2 days with normal use. Compare that to the battery on the S3, you can see how big the battery is. To wrap up the review, let's take a look at some pros and cons of this device. Pros: neat design, great camera on the front and on the back, excellent performance, great battery life. Cons: TouchWiz UI over the top of Android, the phone is too big for some people, lower PPI because of the big display. Anyway guys, this was my review of the Samsung Galaxy Note 2. I can definitely recommend this phone to anyone that likes big display, great battery life and a lot of power. Before we end the video, I just want to say a huge thank you to Simbil for providing this handset for review. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to click that like button down below, comment down below with your thoughts, and finally make sure to subscribe so you won't miss any of my other videos.